Good morning, this is Firefighter John. We're going to be going over a review of the firefighter trackers and our exit transmitters that are going to be being put on the engine here for you guys to be using. So we're going to move right over to the engine. We'll show you how they're connected to the SCBA. Okay, so the fire trackers have been installed on the SCBAs. This is where you're going to find them, on the right-hand hip. And they're installed by the Velcro straps that go all the way around the case here. So we want to make sure that those are tight and secured on there every morning when we do our checks. But to utilize these things, the pouch just opens up towards the front, and you pull the tracker out. As you're putting on your BA in the rig and you're getting ready to step off, we've got a new attachment. It's that long lanyard that you guys probably haven't seen yet, and it's tied to the back of the pack harness there. So when you step off the rig, it's going to automatically pull itself off right here. And it's probably going to be best that you guys actually manually pull it off yourself, just like that, and then step off the rig with the pack. It's turned itself on there, as you can hear. This small little stubby one that we have here is the one that we're going to use when we're in rehab, or you take your pack off for any other reason. You want to make sure that you shut it off, and so you're going to plug that in. And that's the one most of you guys are used to seeing with the training we've been doing. But this is not what we want to be using when we're out there, and we have actually got the pack on. We don't want to see this on when guys are walking around the fire scene. Okay? So this is only for rehab, or if you just take your pack off and set it down. Otherwise, this long strap should be plugged in anytime it's on the engine and unplugged as soon as you go to get off. Okay, so I'm going to take the actual tracker unit out, and we're going to walk over the different functions that it has. Right as I turned it on there, it came up with a number, and it showed you, like this one, I think it said 90, so it's showing 90%. That's the battery life of this unit. I'm going to turn on another one and set it in the background here. So this is what the tracker looks like. It's got two buttons on the front that control the 4 operational modes that this thing has. And it's got a standby mode, a firefighter search mode, a transmit mode, and then an exit transmitter mode. When you turn it on, it automatically goes into the standby mode. When you pull this pin and you're stepping off, it automatically is going to go into a standby mode. And after a certain amount of time, after 30 seconds, it's going to start going into a pre-alert. This one right here I turned on is just right now starting to go into pre-alert, the one up here on the engine. So it's going to have 30 seconds of this pre-alert tone, and it's basically saying, hey, you need to move, or I'm going to go ahead and switch you to transmit. So that's if somebody's trapped or injured or can't move or hurt and not responding, it's going to do this automatically for them. But right now, if I was to shake that unit, it would shut itself off and go back to standby. It would shut that tone off and go back to standby. But what happened was it had 30 seconds of that pre-alert, and it automatically switched to transmit. You can see the TR that's up there. I cannot shake this unit off now. It's just going to stay on transmit. Okay? The only way to get out of it is to go back to standby, and you do that by pressing the red button twice. Okay? So I pressed it twice and it went back to standby. That's basically how it's going to operate when it's sitting on your hip. If you're moving, it shouldn't be going off. Okay? If you stop after 30 seconds, you'll get that pre-alert, and then after 1 minute or 30 seconds of that, 1 minute total, but 30 seconds of that pre-alert tone, it'll actually switch itself into transmit. Okay? So that's how this thing works. It's got the same kind of movement features as our pass alarms do. It's not a pass alarm. I want to emphasize that. It doesn't scream as loud, and it's definitely not the same thing. It's a totally different technology, but it does operate off motion, like just like the pass alarm. Okay, so we went over how it goes from standby to transmit on its own, but I'd like to cover how you do it manually. Okay, so the main red button on the front of this right here, let me plug this one back in. The main red button on the front of this is how we're going to turn it to transmit, and you only need to press it once to hit it to change it to transmit. So you press it one time, and it went straight to transmit. If you notice, I'm going to switch it back so we can do it again. If you notice, when I press it the one time, it's going to count down from 3, 2, 1, and then switch to transmit. The reason it does that is because if we're actively searching for somebody and another guy gets there to search and presses a button and accidentally switches to transmit, everybody's going to focus on him and see him as we're searching for him. So that counts down from that 3, 2, 1 to tell you that, hey, you're going into transmit mode. So if you don't want to, you just tap the button again and go back to standby and make the correction, okay? So to go into transmit, you see the 3, 2, 1, starts transmitting. Standby, I press it twice, okay? So those are those two modes. The other mode that we have here is the firefighter search mode. And to get there, this is when somebody's down, hurt, whatever. We need to go looking for them. We're going to want to press and hold the red button, and you'll see it'll switch to the FF, okay? And that's actively right now searching for a signal for somebody who's transmitting. So if I take this unit over here and I put it in transmit, this unit right now is actually seeing the signal from that unit, and it's showing a distance reading right now, and this reading is done in yards, okay? So these things are good up to 30 yards. Right now, obviously, we're really close. We're at 0.7 yards. As we get closer, the number gets closer, okay? And as we move away, the number gets larger. So that's what we're using these things for, obviously, is to get in closer and find the guys. Okay, so I'm going to reset this. Okay, as soon as I do, I lose the number because there's no active signal being sent out there. So we went over the standby, double tap to get back to standby, just like that. Transmit, press it one time, start sending out the signal. Firefighter search, you press and hold. Okay. The only other function we have on the tracker here is the small yellow button up in the corner here. This is the exit transmit feature. So you press and hold that button. And what that does is when we're using our exit transmitters, which are these, and we'll show you how these operate here in just a second, it allows you to find your way out of the building looking for the signal that exit transmitter is giving. Okay, so when that's on, you can press and hold that, go to the exit transmitter, and you'll actually follow that signal back out of the building, the same way that you would searching for another firefighter.